Will computers revolt? When hearing that question, most people think of emotionless machines battling humans for supremacy. That's not what I'm going to talk about. Instead, I'll address questions like, will computers surpass humans to become the greatest intelligence on the planet? Will they take our place? Will computers and humans be in conflict? Although today's AI, artificial intelligence, have remarkable abilities, they are not thinking in any general sense of the word. Those of us in the field now use the term AGI for artificial general intelligence to differentiate the idea of true thinking from today's AI systems, which do have tremendous capabilities, but more limited scope. Most AI experts agree that computers will eventually exceed humans in thinking ability. Two issues have held us back. First, creating the computational power needed for AGI, and second, knowing what software to write for AGI. Boston Dynamics robots already exhibit the fluid motion and coordination which we humans get from our cerebellum's 56 billion neurons. And robots accomplish this with a few CPUs. Not because the CPUs exceed the computational capacity of the 56 billion neurons, but because developers of robotic software know about physics, forces, and feedback, and can write software which is more efficient than the trial and error learning approach used by your brain. We may already have computers with enough power for AGI, but we don't know it yet. Which brings us to the second question: what is the software needed for AGI? Most people look at the limitations of today's AI systems as evidence that AGI is a long way off. I beg to differ. Most of AGI's needed pieces already exist in various AI systems. They just don't work together very well. While the Jeopardy champion program Watson is an amazing achievement because it can beat human champions, it is unrealistic to expect that it would ever manifest understanding or common sense at a human level. For example, you understand coffee because you've seen it, poured it, spilled it, scalded yourself with it, and on and on. Watson has only read about coffee. You and Watson could not have equivalent understanding of coffee because Watson hasn't had any equivalent real-world experience. For true understanding, Watson's abilities need to be married to sensory and interactive robotic systems in order for common sense to emerge. These pieces already exist in various forms, and AGI might all come together in as little as 10 years, much sooner than most people think. Here are 4 possible scenarios categorizing the conflicts which might arise between computers and humans. I'll start with the most optimistic scenario, the peaceful coexistence scenario. In the long term, in this scenario, mankind's problems will be brought under control via computer-assisted decisions. AGI computers will help us find solutions for famine, disease, war, and overpopulation, and these issues will become obsolete. Computers will help us initially because that will be their programming, and later because they will understand that it is in their own interest to have a stable, peaceful human population. Computers will manage the technology, build their own civilization, and do their own exploration of the universe. When thinking of potential conflict, it is useful to consider questions of what causes conflicts amongst humans. We are all concerned about providing for ourselves, our mates, and our families, and are often willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for the long-term future of ourselves and our offspring. These sources of conflict among humans seem unlikely as sources of conflict with machines. Thinking machines won't be interested in our food, our mates, or our standard of living. They will be interested in their own energy sources and their own ability to progress in their own direction. Which brings us to Scenario 2, the mad machine scenario. There is a popular science fiction theme of a machine which becomes self-aware and attacks its creators when they threaten to disconnect it. This isn't a realistic scenario for several reasons. Humans have instinctive drives and emotions. We want to survive, to learn, to have stuff. We are goal-driven systems with our goals defined by our evolutionary and social heritage. AGIs will also have instinctive goals and emotions, for want of better words. The difference is that we developers get to choose the goals. Many doomsday scenarios depend on AGIs having human goals, which include their being territorial, possessive, greedy, and violent. These would be foolish goals to set, as opposed to being knowledge-seeking, understanding, nurturing, and caring. We will strive to set goals which make AGIs that are pleasant, entertaining, agreeable, and enjoy human company. And even when AGIs begin to program their own future AGI generations, they will pass on these traits, just as we try to pass on our own values to our own children. Further, this mad machine scenario is unlikely because it is the concern everyone is thinking about. Several organizations with prestigious members are working hard to establish ground rules which will keep this scenario from playing out. Scenario 3, the madman scenario. What if the first owners of powerful AGI systems use them as tools to take over the world? This is a more dangerous scenario than the previous. We will be able to program the motivations of our AGIs, but we can't control the motivations of the people or corporations that initially create them. While science fiction presents pictures of armed conflict, I believe that with genius thinking machines, a greater threat comes from their ability to sway opinion or manipulate markets. We have already seen efforts to sway elections through social media. We already have markets at the mercy of program trading, and AGI systems will make this vastly more effective. The good news is that the window of opportunity for such concern is fairly short, because AGI capabilities will continue to increase. During the initial period, people will have direct control over AGIs and they will do our bidding. Once AGI advances beyond this point, they will be measuring their actions against their own common good. When faced with demands from humans to perform some activity with a long-term downside, properly programmed AGIs will simply refuse. Scenario 4, the mad mankind scenario. Today, we humans are the dominant intelligence, and many of us are not comfortable with the idea of that dominance slipping away. Will we rise up as a species and attempt to overthrow the machines? I don't think so. I think we will hardly notice. And if we do notice, we won't care. What was your reaction to a computer being the world chess champion? Well, that was neat, but it didn't change the way I feel about myself. Or a computer which can beat you at Jeopardy. Or that robots are better gymnasts than you. Or that robots are now going to Mars and you cannot. Why should that attitude change as machines get more capable? When computers are smarter than people, we still won't care. We probably won't even know. Today, news stories regularly announce the creation of a newer, smarter computer or robot. There are even announcements that computers have passed the Turing test for intelligence. And eventually a computer will top our best Einsteins and Hawkings. Maybe that will make a difference to us, but probably not. So will computers revolt? Yes, in the sense that they will become the greatest intelligence on our planet. We've already rubbed the technological lamp, and we're just waiting for the AGI genie to emerge. We won't be able to put the genie back into the lamp, so we had better be prepared. It is likely that if we do not solve our multiple pending calamities of overpopulation, pollution, global warming, and dwindling resources, thinking machines will solve them for us with actions we won't like. But these are a direct consequence of our own inaction. As in the quip from Neil deGrasse Tyson, time for mankind to behave so when artificial intelligence becomes our overlord, we've reduced the reasons for it to exterminate us all.